Hello, my name is Natalie Garnica, and welcome back to the Love Revolution. This is a blog intended to open up discussions about issues and topics related to love and deep connection. Because as our surroundings change and the way we communicate also changes, I think it's time that we also start changing the way we think of love and how we express it. So, let's break down our walls, let's get a little uncomfortable, and let's build each other up as humans who actually care and love. One of the most important messages I've learned so far came from my sister, which was there's no point in living without love. Whether it's loving yourself, loving each other, loving God, loving just love, you know? Life's not worth living without it. But what happens when you lose it? You know, when everyone talks about feeling love and experiencing this joyous experience, but no one really talks about what happens when it's gone, when someone just is out of your life that you care for so much, right? And I think that's a problem because once we're in that moment of loss, we don't know how to handle it because no one talks about it. So today I want to talk about love after death. Because when I was 19, I lost my best friend. Her and I were inseparable. And one of my worst qualities is that when I feel pain, when I get hurt, I don't just get in a ball and cry about it. I build these walls to prevent me from feeling. And that's even uglier than feeling sadness. Not feeling at all is worse than feeling sadness. So that was where I messed up. Because in that moment, filled with my first real experience of realizing what life and death was, I just blocked all of life. Because I didn't understand death. I didn't understand loss. Like real loss, Yeah, I had my little breakups here and there in high school and little relationships here and there. I had already broken up with my first love. But, experiencing a death was next level loss, right? And so I became cold. I didn't want to feel anything. And I became a bitch. And it sucked. I was in a place that now that I look back on, I think it's silly, But in that moment, I really thought that it was safer to not feel at all because I just didn't want to experience the pain again. And it wasn't until my sister, my beautiful, loving sister, called me out on it. She was like, "You're being a fucking bitch, Nat. What the hell is wrong with you?" I was hurting the people that I loved the most around me. And in that moment, I tried to explain to her, look, I'm hurting and I don't want to feel. I'd rather not feel. And that's when she made me realize, she was just like, well, that's sad now. That's the saddest thing, because life's not worth living without feeling, right? And that's when, obviously it wasn't instant. It's taken me a long time to get to a point where I'm now open to want to receive love again. Oh man, there's like something moving in the water. I wonder if it's a fish. But anyways, let's not get distracted. So yeah, like I was saying, it's taken me a long time to finally get to a point where I'm like, you know what? Stop putting these excuses and these walls to not feel. Because I'm missing out on so much by doing that. You end up missing out on so much good, And it's really hard to reciprocate love when you're not receiving it. It's really hard to want to. And although I was doing it, I got to a point where, like, I have no problem giving love to others, but receiving it was really hard for me, because I felt like any time I really got to a point of loving again, God would just take it away from me. And again, and when I speak of love, it's not just a romantic love. I'm talking about all types of love, like a deep love of a friendship. Like, I lost my best friend, and then later on, I ended up losing another really great friend who I considered my first love, and that was like another shocker, which made me put up even more walls. And then, a breakup of 5 years ended, and that's like more walls. And it's just kind of like, at what point am I gonna stop being afraid to lose? Because in that process, I'm losing out on a lot more. And so I really wanted to have this discussion, because I think that there's a lot of people in this world that do what I do. We get hurt, we get angry, and we stay in this angry state instead of like letting that go. And we put up these walls because we think it's safer not to experience it again. And instead, we end up feeling shittier. Like, you're stuck in this weird limbo of like, I want love, but I don't, and like, I'm angry, and it just takes so much more. It takes so much more energy to just feel angry. And I'm tired. I'm tired of not feeling love, So I think that for people that are like me, step one is realizing that you have to take in the good with the bad. And that's step one. You have to just accept the bad, because it's life. It's just life. It sucks. And now I've gotten in the habit of, like, anytime something in life that happens and that's like kind of out of my control, I just look up at the sky and I'm like, life, because that's what it is. And it feels better for some reason. Step number 2, talk about it. Talk about it and like realize what the fuck you're going through. And that it's okay, yeah, you're gonna have your time of not wanting to feel and just putting up walls, but don't get stuck there. because I got stuck there for way too long. Way too long. And then number 3, yeah, being open to loving again. So not only like accepting the bad when it happens, but then being open for the good when it does happen too. Because you're gonna miss out on so much great stuff and great people because you close yourself out. So, I think that that's a very big important thing for people who lose people in their life. Like I said, death is it's an interesting thing. Or just loss. Loss is an interesting subject that no one really understands because we don't talk about it. But it's all around us. It's part of life. So, again, as a love revolution kind of thing, again, let's talk about loss. It's part of love. You can't have one without the other. And if anything, my losing experiences has only made me appreciate life that much more. It has made me want to love that much harder and make me want to love everything in this world so much more. So, I want to know in the comments below your experiences with loss. Especially if you've had someone pass away. Fuck, that shit sucks. It's been years since, I've lost my people. And it still sucks. It never gets easier. Never gets easier. But loving again also becomes hard. But it's worth it. It's totally worth it. So I want to hear people's experiences of how they are now if they're shut off, or people that have finally found a way to love again. Let's talk about it. All right? Until next time, I hope you guys have a lovely day.